Hello, my name is Stepan Andranikian, and I'm a certified personal trainer, and I'm 20 years old. About 10 years ago, I got really into boxing and calisthenics. And when I got into high school, I got really into bodybuilding and weight training. So much so to the point that my prom date was a jug of whey protein. I took a jug of whey protein to my prom. I was that guy. So, as of 2 years ago, I figured why not take my obsession for exercise and turn it into a profession. And so I became a certified personal trainer under the American Council on Exercise. And I am currently a full-time student at the State University of New Paltz, where I also work at the Athletic and Wellness Center on campus as a personal trainer, where I train clients ranging from students, faculty, and alumni, and as well as I teach a fitness boxing MMA class every week. So the reason why I came here is because I'd like to talk about, well, exercise. For the most part, we all know that exercise has physical, obvious health benefits, such as regulating blood pressure, maintaining homeostasis, and even increasing metabolic function, and decreasing the rate of heart failure, which is the leading cause of death in the United States of America. So there are, as we know, obvious health benefits to leading a healthy and lifestyle based off of exercise. But for the near decade that I've spent in the exercise basic community, I've come to realize that no one really talks about the mental side of exercise and the mental health benefits that it has. And I've always wondered why. Why don't we talk about that? I don't really know, because there are just as many mental health benefits to exercise as there are physical health benefits. And so that's what I'm here to talk about today, the mental side of exercise. And I'd like to get right into it. So, like I said, we all know that exercise has physical benefits, and for the most part, when someone begins exercising, the physical, visibly, physical benefits you don't really notice it. So if someone wants to lose weight or gain muscle mass, it may take up to months. But on the mental side, there is that near instant gratification aspect of exercise that we like to call in the fitness industry. And basically what I mean by that, exercise makes you feel good. Why? Well, it's as simple as that. There is a science to it. Exercising, according to the Biotechnical Center of Medicine, exercise can increase the levels of one's serotonin and dopamine in their body. Now, for those of you who don't know, serotonin is a neurotransmitter that plays the important role of relaying messages and signals up in here in your brain. And low serotonin levels in individuals has been a direct link to depression. Now, dopamine is also a neurotransmitter that plays the same role, but it is also a hormone that serves to create the feeling of pleasure and reward and satisfaction and even motivation in some individuals. So low dopamine levels are also linked to depression. And basically, serotonin and dopamine is increased. The production of serotonin and dopamine is increased through regular exercise, which is why so many psychologists, doctors, and therapists alike recommend a regular exercise routine for clients with depression. Moving on, there's an interesting study that was done by a professor of psychology, a clinical psychologist at Duke University. It was a 4-month test trial done on sedentary individuals with major depressive disorder. There were 4 test groups. The first group was treated with supervised exercise, and the second group was treated with at-home based exercise, while the third group was treated with antidepressants, and the fourth group were treated with placebo pills. Now, the placebo pills didn't really do much. Because they're placebo pills. I mean, they don't do anything, It's all a mental factor, but they didn't really do much. Meanwhile, the most interesting aspect, the part of the trial, was that Blumenthal concluded that the 2 exercise groups were just as effective as the antidepressant group, basically saying that a regular exercise routine is just as effective as taking antidepressant medication. And just to think about that, that's kind of crazy that we don't we're not really broadcasting this information. No one really knows this. No one really knows that exercise can have those awesome and positive health benefits on one's mental state. Saying that it can be as effective as an antidepressant therapy while not having those side effects that come with so many antidepressants, excuse me. And even for those who may not have the proper insurance for antidepressants, it can be a much less costly method, exercise, as it can be done at the convenience of one's own home. There is a quote that I like a lot by a professor of psychology at the Boston University. The professor goes by the name of Michael Otto, and he essentially states that failing to exercise when you feel bad is like explicitly not taking an aspirin when you have a headache. That's when you get the greatest benefit. Now, as we could see here, so many psychologists alike, and this is backed by years of research, they all unanimously, mutually, agree that exercise has obvious mental health benefits, from raising serotonin and dopamine levels in individuals, and even completely matching on the level of antidepressants. It's which is really amazing. And for those of you who may not have been aware of this previously, that exercise can be a useful resource for those who may be suffering depression or other mental illnesses. Exercise is a great resource, and if you don't know where to start, there are so many places to begin with. For me personally, I mean, when I was 10 years old and I wanted to get into the world of exercise, I just straight up Googled everything. I YouTubed everything, and I learned everything online when I was a little kid, and eventually I got into the more professional aspect of it. But there's so many. What I'm basically saying is you can turn anywhere, and there will be someone that's willing to help you. If you go to the gym, I'm sure that there will be trainers at almost every gym that will be willing to help you if you don't know the proper steps to take. And if you just are afraid of experiencing a new routine such as exercise. So please utilize the resource of exercise if you haven't, and I highly recommend it. My name is Stepan Andranikian. I'm a personal trainer, and thank you for having me.